Hey y'all, really quickly, spread the word, send this everyone you know to our six old faithful subscribers. Make your family subscribe. Just turn off notifications. We're trying to change platforms to YouTube Live. We want to do it live because we're a little bit over the fakeness of AI. And we want you guys to see us fail in real time and, just face plant like we normally do. It's cool. We have a barrier to entry though, and that is 50 subscribers on our YouTube channel. We're at 35. Send, share, just click. Link will be in show notes. Thank you kindly.
Hi, Rachel.
Morning, Liz.
Good morning. It has been a morning.
A bit.
Yeah. I didn't know if you were going to be up this morning. It was kind of early and I hadn't usually you send it to me, the link like 30 minutes before. So it's like, well, maybe she's not up. I did want to disturb you because
Actually,
you were
I
having
actually,
you what?
I actually got up quite early. I was
Okay.
even up earlier than normal, but I was just, how you get like involved in like little projects here and there, and then you totally forget about what time it is.
Yes. Oh no, I do know. I know all about that. It's distractions. Lots of distractions.
They're
That are
everywhere.
all necessary. Necessary distractions. Oh dear. Anyway. So once again, our email is sistersdeclassified@gmail.com. Send us some info, send us some questions, send us comments, send us anything. If you have something you want us to talk about, that'd be great. We'd love to get an email from you. All we've got in our email is pretty much spam and and a bunch of dumb things that are automatically generated when you open a new email. I mean, they're about the podcast, but they're, I think they're robots. So
Yes,
it will not, that's not effective. Anyway,
they're divertisements.
yes. So it's been a long week. Can we start off with a funny story
Which one?
instead of end with a funny story? Okay. Well, we can start and end, but here's
That's
the
fine.
thing. So the other night I get a call from my sister about I'm gonna say 8 o'clock.
It was about 6 here, yeah.
Okay, so it's probably 8 p.m. my time, and she is talking 90 miles a minute. She's like, it's Red Ribbon Week, and I'm like, okay. And her significant other and her were going to get high and have a beer and eat Taco Bell.
This was all, it was planned, okay? It didn't
Yes,
just,
yes.
okay.
It was a
So
planned event.
the deviance of this whole entire idea is so attractive to me because it's absolutely hilarious to start with. And I would have to say that we're both in like education. So
Right?
yes, as an homage to the war on drugs, we
Yeah.
get high all Red Ribbon Week.
So they were gonna smoke some weed, whatever. Eat edibles. I don't know what. Anyway,
Yeah.
so she calls me and she's like, hang on a minute. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, I'm going through Taco Bell and I'm gonna order. So she proceeds to order. And then the guy said, okay, your total is whatever. And she said, wait a minute, I need like 50 hot sauces.
Well,
And the
first
guy
I
said,
said,
oh, as
'cause
many.
I said, I need he said, do you want any hot sauce? And I said, I would like as many packs of hot sauce as you can get me without getting fired.
Right.
And then he countered with, okay.
I'll give you 15. And Rachel said, no, I want 50. And he said, How about 20? And Rachel goes, why are we negotiating hot sauce? Meanwhile, I'm in the background just like dying laughing because this guy is like so confused as to why she wants 50 hot sauces. And so I just literally was cracking up because I'm like, why
Well,
is
then
he
I
having a
get
problem giving hot sauce? Like, what
I
the
know.
heck?
Why,
That's
why
why
are
you
we
go to Taco Bell, because
negotiating
you want their hot sauce.
I was-
Yes.
Oh, it was funny. And then I got up to the window. You were still on the phone, and then I proceeded to tell him what was going on. I was like, we're teachers, we're educators. You shouldn't have a problem. We're essential workers too. We were cracking up, and he goes, I told him the whole thing, and he was dying. And then he just grabs a big old handful and shoves it into my bag.
Yeah, but then tell us what happened when you got to the house.
I didn't even notice, like, I didn't even pay attention to it because we were all cracking up, and he just hands me this like huge pile in the bag. I didn't look in the bag. I get back to to the significant other's house, and it's all mild. There's not one hot sauce in the bunch, so it's all mild. Oh dear.
Oh, I was like, why are we negotiating hot sauce?
I know, like,
It's like the
there's
funniest
so
line.
much trauma in the world right now. Why are we debating how much hot sauce I can have?
And also, like, who cares?
I know, I don't know either. Well, I think they get
Anyway.
like, probably yelled at, right? If they're from their manager or whatever,
Yes.
if they're trying to cut food costs.
Oh, I know. I mean, when we worked at Arby's, they used to be like one this or one this
One
or this.
item, yeah.
One sauce per item. I'm like, I'm sorry. McDonald's does that too. Like, they go, oh, you can have one sauce per 6 nuggets or something. And I'm like, who decided that one sauce is enough for 6?
I
Like,
want to join
want
the
one sauce
committee.
per nugget.
I need to join the committee that makes these choices.
Yes, like why is that a thing? It's so funny. But I know they cost money. It is what it is, but like really, if you're going to offer that, then let us have as much as we want. Like maybe we eat 6 on one thing. Don't judge me.
Well, I also don't waste them. I hoard Taco Bell sauce. I mean,
yeah.
I have a whole pile of it in the cabinet because
That's why they don't
it's the emergency stash. Because often they don't, right? So it's an
Right.
emergency
Oh,
stash.
so many times they forget the hot sauce.
Yes.
Whatever. Oh dear, that's crazy. Anyway, that was our fun experience of the night. I was cracking up.
Well, you know what? It reminded me of like the one thing I always forget about at the Gorge is how much we laugh the whole time. And like
Yes.
how hoarse you get because you're constantly dying laughing.
Yes.
But
yes.
we laughed that whole night. Like it was probably a good 20 minutes of like
right.
just back and forth because there was so much silliness happening.
Cracking up.
Very funny.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Yeah.
All right. Well, who was doing what today? Like what are we doing?
Okay, so
I don't even know.
We're doing our define this is let's do that first because that's the easy one and it won't take. I mean, we'll talk on it for a bit, honestly, because there could be a ton to talk about on this. And this is like something that happens in so many aspects of life. It's not just in our cult upbringing. This happens everywhere.
Yeah.
But our define this is double standard.
Mm-hmm.
And so a double standard is a code or policy that favors one group or person over another. Double standards are unfair. Example is if the teachers let all the boys bring candy for lunch, but not the girls, that's a double standard. Standard is a way of evaluating someone, and a double standard is two-faced. So that was our upbringing, 100%.
No, first we need to define what was considered a standard.
Okay, so you want to do like the rules of the
right. Pick a rule that
okay, so they were called standards. They were called these are the standards you live by, you know. No television. You cannot go to the movies. You cannot listen to secular music, which included anything except what was produced by the church.
Yeah.
Any secular music. In fact, here's a funny story about that. The music situation. When I got married in the cult, and I had picked music, and I got nixed on almost all of my music. In fact, I was so upset because I had heard this country song that I wanted played at my wedding. It was an amazing song. And I was like, I'm going to have this at my wedding. Well, it got vetoed and I was not allowed to have that. So then my grandmother was going to sing at my wedding and she sang Ave Maria, which was also almost nixed. Like literally they threw a fit about it. And I was like, listen, my grandmother is an operatic singer. She's amazing. This is the song we're going to sing. And they changed the timing on it while playing so that it didn't sound secular. Like, oh my gosh. So anyway, music was one thing, which I think is why I love music so much now. Like, there's most genres I listen to. I'm not a huge fan of, I'm gonna say bluegrass. I'm not a huge
Death
fan
metal.
of like red dirt country. Yeah, it's like death metal, like the screamo stuff. I don't really love that, but pretty much everything else, I just love music and I love listening to lyrics. Songs will make me cry, whatever. Anyway, so music was one. The way we dressed, of course, we've talked about that before. What are some that come to mind for you?
I always think that well, male, female, that was always the
Sure.
case. So there was always,
Yeah, but we're talking standards.
yes.
So like, yeah.
Yes. So dress
Okay, the
standards.
standards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And guys were allowed to get away with more than girls in almost every single like situation or circumstance.
Sure.
The male behavior was excused, the female behavior was always punished.
Right.
And they were the perpetrator, the males were the victim,
Sure.
which was honest to God, always flipped, right? It was
Yeah.
almost every single time. So behavior standards, there were a lot more also for girls than there were for boys, right? So in gender, there was a big, huge double standard, and then in like volume, like sheer volume of rules that we had to follow that the boys did not have to follow, was like exorbitantly longer list for
right. We kind of wear earrings that left your ear. So like it had to be, if you wore earrings, they had to be on your earlobe. Makeup was definitely a standard, which, you know, they wanted us to look like homely young girls forever.
The Pentecostal Amish.
Yeah, like literally looking pretty was not an option. It was really sad.
That was seductress, right? You
well, of course. Yeah. You were being a Jezebel, as they would call it. So yeah, like there was a lot of things, mainly anything with the outside world, you know.
Well, okay, and this brings up a double standard that was always like right in front of your face. You're like, what the actual fuck here? Makeup. Guess who wore makeup?
Oh yeah.
All of the pastor's daughters wore a ton of makeup. And his daughter-in-law, daughter-in-laws, all of them across the board wore a ton of makeup.
Oh yeah.
But that was okay because that was the thing.
Right. It was okay for them. It wasn't okay for us. I remember one time in high school, this has to do with movies. The movie Top Gun was out. Of course, we never kept up with that. But yeah, we're like literally in class one day, and one of the leader's sons starts talking about this movie, and we're like, did you watch the movie? I mean, knew every detail. Like the boys would come to class, him and his friends wearing like the Top Gun sunglasses, like the aviator sunglasses, and they were like, that was a huge thing. But I'm like, why are they getting to watch a movie? You know, if we would have been caught dead in the movie theater, we would have been in so much trouble. And I was like, no way. And I would have never even attempted to go to the movies. the first movie I ever saw outside of what was yours? Mine was Big Daddy.
Yeah, that's a good one. I saw Titanic. That was like
Okay. Yeah, so that
overwhelming.
was the first movie I ever saw, and we were still in Colorado Springs. We did not we hadn't moved yet. We were in process of moving, but we were out. We had left. This was like a week or two after, and Randy's like, let's go to the movies. And I'm like, oh my God, what if somebody sees us? Like literally, that was still my mindset. And so anyway, we ran into three people that we knew that were all sneaking in there too. It was freaking hilarious. But yeah, that was my first movie in a theater was Big Daddy by Adam Sandler. Oh my gosh. I like see that, or I tell people that and they think that I'm lying.
Crazy. I know. Same thing
Yeah.
for my movie too. And then, well, the other thing, that same like the double standard thing though. And I think that was us growing up. But then I'm like, we still have that today though. Like
Oh, absolutely. It's
there's
everywhere in
still,
life.
yeah. It's like once you've seen it, you can't unsee it because then you're like,
Yeah.
oh wait, that's not equal, right? The whole like we'll say equity movement, right? And I'm sure
Right.
if anyone listens to this out of context, they're gonna be like, what did she say? But that was always, I think, for you and I, as soon as we got out, we were like, okay, never again. Like everybody should get treated fairly, and everybody should have the
Mhm.
same standards. And try, I think you and I both try our best to do that.
Yeah.
Instead of having just this stark contrast between it's right for thee but not right for me, or
Yeah.
vice versa. And that's like part of, I think, our value system now is that was like already done and over with. Once we got out of the cult, we were like, okay, yeah, no, everybody should be treated fairly and of the same way.
But that's just not reality. And unfortunately,
So
the
then,
world
yeah.
is so fucked up, and people are fucked up in their way of thinking. People treat people differently based on I'm gonna say race, class,
Religion.
religion, anything, even politically.
Oh gosh.
Someone doesn't agree with your politics or the way you think, and they're like the enemy. And I'm like, why? Like, why can't we all just get along? Like, it's okay to have different opinions. It's really frustrating when people treat people differently because they believe something different, and it's not right.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. I mean, it frustrates me on the daily.
Yeah. I was
just
listening
normal conversation with people. I get so upset because I'm like, it's okay. Everyone can have different opinions. We can all still live in the same space and have a different opinion.
Absolutely. I was listening to a podcast earlier this morning, and they were interviewing the guy who created Reddit, that platform. And of course it's, has been under fire and was controversial, and because it's like, well, nobody's, there weren't monitors and blah blah blah, and people were just posting stuff up. But he was quite naive when he started it. He didn't ever have the vision that it would become as big as it did, because he just thought, who's gonna really care about some rando's opinion on the internet? But it blew up, right? But then he came to the realization, and I think sold the company a while back, but he came to the realization that politics, opinions, and even facts don't matter to people. When you're trying to have a conversation with them, you have to share personal experience.
Absolutely.
That's the only way that you can enter a conversation, especially when you have someone who's like super diabolically opposed or will confront you with, facts, opinions, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, none of that really matters online, particularly if it's anonymous or pseudonymous, right? Where they're using a fake name or they're just anonymous. Unless you inject personal experience, it deflates the whole situation where there's not that rage machine on the socials. But I thought that was pretty insightful, because I was like, yep, that's how you talk to people.
Sure.
Don't share the same opinion. You can share a personal experience that will inform their understanding of why you disagree, instead of shooting facts. And I was like, that's really, really astute to see it that way.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I think we deal with double standards every day, and you just have to figure out how to handle that and how to try and deflect from the double standard, which I don't know if deflect is the right word, but try and even it out a bit. I'm going through this situation at work right now where um it's so stupid, but I'm not a crazy like I will let management know concerns about something, but I'm not the person that's going to raise hell and like go nuts and throw a fit and all that stuff. Well, there's another coworker that does do that, and she gets everything she wants. And me, they always go back with like a, well, you have to do this or you have to do this, because I'm not so
Aggressive.
blatantly,
Yeah.
yes, I'm not so aggressive. And and it really frustrates me because I could be that
You're not
aggressive
the guy being the asshole. You're
Yes,
the one that's being like
I'm trying
logical.
to be kind and logical, and yes, but the fairness there is definitely seen. The unfairness, I guess is what I should say, is seen by me, and it's extremely frustrating. But I also am not going to lower myself to becoming a dick
Right.
to
Get what you need.
get what I want.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
So
and the logical conclusion there, right, is that she's getting rewarded for her behavior.
for bad behavior.
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
getting rewarded because she's behaving like a jerk.
Yeah.
And that is part of the problem, is that the loudest, the squeakiest wheel,
Yes.
right? Their voices get heard.
Yep.
And meanwhile, whoever's not yelling the loudest,
Right.
Gets kicked to the curb. Therefore,
Sure.
their behavior, well, most likely better, is not rewarded.
Yes.
And then we have a cyclone of assholes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, double standards are was something that, and I think whenever I was very young in the cult, I didn't really think about it. I just think of it as like a double standard. I thought about it as, oh well, they're in leadership, so they can do that. As far as like television goes, I remember one time when I was probably 14, I house sat this couple's house, 14, okay, which is kind of bizarre. We started babysitting kids when we were probably 13, with
God, I was
parents
like
out of
12.
town.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh,
like
like
5
who
kids
leaves their kids with a 13-year-old
all
who can't even
weekend.
drive for an entire weekend? Anyway, it's just crazy. But I house sat at these people's houses, and they were deacons in the cult church, whatever. And I remember going into their house, and I, had the keys, and I was just staying the night there, getting their mail, doing their plants, random stuff. They were gone for like a week. There was a television in their living room, and I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck? Yeah. So at that point, I was like, why do they get to have a TV and I'm not allowed to see TV? You know what I mean? Of course, we saw our TV when we could. We snuck around and watch shows random places. But what I'm saying is they actually had a television in their living room. And let me tell you, I watched TV all freaking week. Yep. It was just like, oh my gosh, my mind was blown. But I was like, why are they allowed to have one? Yeah. And we're not, you know? And they would use things like, we are watching the news so we can keep up with stuff, or we have self-control over what we watch and you will not. Things like that was just bizarre.
That's hilarious.
And yeah, it's hilarious. And honestly, like, they were the ones probably doing the most immoral things on television, or, whatever, as they would call them. And they definitely let us think that, we were inferior and therefore did not have the brain power to control what we watched or whatever. And they were okay to do that. And so I think at that age was the time that I was like, what the fuck?
It's so blatant.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things that made me start questioning it, but I feel like Probably 13 or 14 was about the age where I started going, okay, this does not make sense.
Yeah.
And then, you get out of the cult and you realize that it's literally everywhere. The double standard exists everywhere.
Yeah.
So I think you just have to try to not be one of those people who has double standards. Um, you know, I think my kids sometimes think that I have double standards with them because I treat them differently. Um, but there's no way to treat them the same because they're three completely different people. So I think they would say that, oh, you have double standard with us. Like you help them with this or you do this with them or whatever. And so they probably think that, which is okay, but I definitely think that with children it's a little different.
Well, they're also at different ages. They have different needs at different ages. They have
Sure.
different personalities that have
Yep.
different love languages. So really the
Mhm.
best you can do is just try and figure out what each individual one needs and then
Yes.
work your way backwards from there, which is
Yeah.
always going to be the argument for multiple children, you know.
Yes. As with us, we discuss the same thing with our
Oh
mothers
yeah.
sometimes.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Oh yeah. But I mean, being a mother and with multiple children, you just have the one, so it's not as um, you know,
Yeah.
it's not up in your face like it is for me. But yeah, it becomes a reality that okay, maybe there are, the different personalities need different treatment, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Well, even with my roommate, it's still like if my attention's divided,
oh sure.
when she needs it,
Yes.
then she throws a freaking hissy fit of
Oh
epic
yeah.
proportions. And I'm like,
Dave
dude,
Matthews Band.
yes. I'm like, the one time I'm out of town every freaking year. She called everyone I know.
She did. She was a persistent little sucker.
I'm getting text messages from cousin there. Are you okay? Macy's text. I'm like, oh my God, dude, really? Let it go. Anyway,
Yeah,
uh,
that's funny.
yeah.
They
So,
will. They are persistent though. Even my children, if they want to get a hold of me, they're gonna figure it out.
oh, I know. I was like, that's not a bad quality though.
Right? Absolutely not. They're like they get it done. Anyway, okay. So, do you want to move on to our next topic?
How to?
How to?
How to? Well, let's see. Originally, and it sort of backpacks off the double standard of like, how do you deal with the double standard, right? And so
Mhm.
originally I thought, well, why don't we do how to disagree? Since I do think that's a skill that we've lost, listening and then disagreeing,
Mhm.
amicably with people. We just don't know how to do it anymore. And I thought that would be really cool. But then I listened. There was this TikTok of this older woman speaking, and she said, if I could give anyone any advice, it would be to live beautifully, and just be kind. And I thought
Mhm.
about that, and her context for saying that was, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know how long you have with people. You don't know if your, perspective might change based on speaking to someone who you do disagree with, sort of the context. And then she said, what is really important is how you can live beautifully. And I think what she meant by that was, in the same vein, disagree beautifully,
Yes.
still be kind in a
Mhm.
situation where you might not see exactly eye to eye with someone, but you can still behave well and respect the other person and treat them like a human, right?
Yes.
With
Yes.
their right to their opinions and their right to their voice and their right to be heard and listened to, right? And
Mhm.
trying to understand. So I just thought that was really, really well put. And then I also, excuse me, complimented you because I think that this is something that you're very, very good at. And like as an older sister, like that's one of the qualities that you have that I really look up to and admire in you because um it seems that that is really what is necessary in the world we live in right now. So I think it's critical that we just pay attention to that. Like, and then how do you get to those conversations? And the one thing I mentioned earlier, it was that sharing personal experiences rather than facts, opinions, um that will help you to better intervene, and to be able to, I'm going to say, get to at least an agreement between two people who are not in agreement, to better come into perspective, right, from both angles there. So instead of slathering someone, rather hitting them in the face with a bunch of facts and your own personal opinions about a specific topic, whether it's political, racial, whatever. There's always stuff like that going on right now. But then to be able to say, well, I respect your opinion. Let me tell you about this one time when right, whatever.
Yeah.
So that it becomes a conversation rather than just shooting someone down with, a ton of information that really doesn't matter to
Right.
us, right? And that's almost, I feel like that when you get shoved with opinions and facts, even, it feels like you're getting beat up by that person, right? It almost feels like an attack,
Yes.
right?
I
Where
think
they're
personal.
because they're defending, right?
Yes.
Like this defense mechanism. And I'm like, well, rather than have a defense, why don't we just soak it in, try to, reframe it and understand it from their view, or ask them to share, something where in their life they've had a personal experience with whatever the situation is. And
Sure.
I just think that's just again, how to live beautifully in disagreement would have been a better topic. How to,
Yeah.
but how
Yeah.
to still behave well, in a
Right.
circumstance where it could get dicey. We could be those assholes on the internet, but
Well, I think you have to just watch how you react to people. That goes back to like listening, when we talked about
active listening.
When someone's telling you something, actually listen to them before you react, because if you react, that is not going to be effective or
No.
helpful to anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely I mean, every family has very interesting dynamics. And I meet people all the time who tell me that they're estranged from a family member for like 5 years, or they haven't talked to their mother in 15 years, things like that. I think in our family, we could hold anger and grudges and essentially end up doing that. But I personally cannot do that because I think of, the alternative, like you were talking about. Nobody knows. You don't know if my sister died tomorrow. We talked about this last night. Like, what we want to do when we die, or what you want done when you die,
Right.
But we don't know when we're going to die. Nobody knows when you're going to die. You could have a horrible car wreck and die, in 2 hours. Like, nobody freaking knows. And so these are people that you love. And I know there are things that are unforgivable. I don't know necessarily unforgivable, but yes, unforgivable. You know, abuse or things like this, where it's necessary to cut somebody out of your life. But a lot of times when people say that they haven't talked to a sibling or a parent in years, and I'm like, oh, well, why not? Well, we just had a disagreement several years ago, or, something like this. And I'm like, well, what was it over? And a lot of times they don't even remember.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you just hold on to this grudge, and that is so toxic.
It is, but do you know what? You know what? If that did happen, if you are estranged or whatever from your family member, you know what they're going to remember? Not that. They're not going to remember the grudge. They're going to remember who the person you were and their good memories together, right?
Yeah.
The bad stuff's going to go away. I mean, it does. They don't remember that. Again, like you said, 9 times out of 10, if it's been years, people often don't even know. I don't know why we're fighting.
Right. Like, why are we fighting? Why are we not talking anymore? We all have an interesting relationship because we all live so freaking far away from each other, you know? family dynamic. So like, you know, uh,
But we do a fairly good job of staying in
well,
pretty
right,
close
as much as
contact.
possible. And like, you know, you come see me, I come see you. Mom, you know, same thing. Mom gets out to see us as much as possible. You know, we do try and connect, and we connect on the phone, you know,
Yeah.
things like that. Um, Rachel and I talk every day. My mom and I talk whenever she answers the phone. Um,
Once a week-ish
so yeah,
usually.
I mean, at
Sometimes
least
more.
once a week I try and
Yeah.
talk to her. In fact, yes, or couple days ago, I told Rachel that I hadn't talked to mom in like over a week. And it's because, you know, I had surgery and I've been kind of out of it. And I just was like, I haven't talked to her. And she's like, well, the phone goes both ways.
It does. And
And I was
again,
cracking up because I was like, yeah, but I mean, she's done the same to me. She's called me and I haven't answered the phone, or, you know, because she calls me at weird times. She asked me the other day, what time is a good time to call you? And I said, early morning or late at night. And for her, early morning is not an option. Because she does not have the same early morning rising that my sister and I have. But anyway, so, you know, but I do. And, you know, and then our other sibling, I try and talk as much as possible. Um, but we all lead super busy lives. So, you know, but I hold no grudges
right,
against anybody,
right.
you know, because literally
Takes a lot of energy.
this is your family, you know,
Right, right.
and love
But
them.
also like holding
Oh, we
hate
all do
and
stupid shit. So
I know holding hate or like a grudge or hard feelings against someone takes a lot of
yeah.
energy. And quite
Oh, it does
frankly,
take so much
I
energy for
don't have
sure.
that. I'm like, it's really not in me because I'm like, that just takes up brain space. It stresses you out. Like it's just
Yeah.
not good for you in general health.
Yeah.
Can't hang on to that because it will kill you.
Yep. For sure. I don't like being angry at somebody or upset with somebody because, and you know, I get angry with people all the time, but it lasts about 1 minute.
Yes, I know.
Maybe the time it takes me to call a friend or my sister and vent about it, and then I'm
Right.
over it, you know?
Yeah.
Because you just like you got to get it out, and once it's out, okay, move on. So anyway, there's a lot there, but I don't have the energy to be angry with people, you know.
No.
There's so many people in my life that I could be angry with and never talk to again.
Right.
And I say in my life, these are not family members. This is just like acquaintances or people
Yes.
that work with or things like this. It just is not worth it. Because it does affect everything in your body. I truly believe toxicity it towards other humans is goes in your body,
Yeah.
and it makes you sick. Makes you sick, makes you angry, makes you, you know, tired, it's exhausting, it's, you know, all of the things that are negative, and I don't want that, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, there's literally no upside.
Right. Right.
Like there isn't. So
because like what are you getting out of being angry at them? Absolutely nothing.
right.
Absolutely nothing. Except the fact that you're not talking to them, which is fine. You can not be angry and still not talk to them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But why lessen your energy by using it for somebody else?
Right. When it all flips around, it's kind of selfish, but don't be mad. Be selfish. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Oh dear. What was the other funny story that we had this week? There was another one that we were cracking up about.
I don't know. We crack up almost every day.
We usually do.
Taco Bell one just literally stood in my brain. It was like so flipping.
Why are we
funny.
negotiating over taco sauce?
I know. I'm like literally the anytime. And see, I have been on this like eating while with my husband thing for about a month. He's been doing it for like 3 months, and this is just his way of eating. He said he's doing this forever. So I'm like, good. So I'm trying to do it. Mainly it's no sugar, no like processed food, anything like that. And I forget where I'm going with that story because my brain is
Taco Bell.
literally okay. So Taco Bell, yes.
Crappy Taco
So
Bell.
that I could eat Taco Bell at least once a week and not have a problem with it. But by God, I cannot eat Taco Bell while I'm eating healthy. My daughter
No,
the other day,
it is not healthy.
it's not healthy. So they have nacho fries. I don't know if y'all have ever tried nacho fries, but they're so freaking good.
Well, I live in California.
Yeah, so they're so good, but like um they have
Nutritionally
processed cheese
speaking.
with them because Morgan's like, well, the nacho fries are essentially potatoes, and I don't think they fry them. I don't know how they prepare them. They don't have fryers in Taco Bell, so I'm kind of like, do they use an air fryer? I don't know. Anyway, potatoes with seasoning. She's like, you can eat that. She's like, but now they have a vegan cheese sauce, so you could go get nacho fries and eat with the vegan cheese sauce instead. And I said, well, it's not going to taste the same. But also the vegan stuff probably has a ton of crap in it.
Oh, I'm sure.
So it's 100%
anything
processed.
from
I'm
anything
like,
from a fast food joint is almost
right?
guaranteed to be like 99% processed.
Yeah.
crap.
So I'm like, okay, so that's out, unfortunately. So I don't know when I'll have Taco Bell again. It could be years. I don't know. My husband, every once in a while, I'm like, well, we could do this. And it's like a little off, but not quite. I mean, it's just like, so like, okay, for instance, he doesn't use anything with vegetable oil or canola oil. He only uses seed oil, so avocado, olive oil.
Yep.
And so uh he was making some like corn chips in the air fryer the other day, and he was making them with I'm sorry, olive oil. He was just shaking them, and then putting them in the air fryer. Well, I was like, these are not good. So I'm like, well, we could just use a little bit of vegetable oil. And he's like, no. He's like, absolutely not. So that's my way of cheating, is using like a different oil or something like that. But yeah, he has to keep me in line. But he's like, I've been eating unhealthy for 50 years. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm like, okay, cool. So that's like his thing that he says to himself. So I try and say that to myself too. I'm like, okay, I've had Taco Bell for the last 40 years of my life. I don't need Taco Bell anymore.
What am I keeping and what am I letting go?
Yes, for
I
sure.
like it.
But anyway, there's like a lot of funny stories that we do. I don't know.
I can't remember. I was trying to remember, like at the very beginning, I was thinking it and I was like, oh, I'll remember that. And now I totally forgot what it was. But anyway, yeah, there is something to be said for seed oils. There's a lot of controversy on that, but yes, I agree with Randy.
I mean, it is what it is. He follows this guy that he saw on TikTok, and he literally, and I don't think anything that he does is bad. And in fact, he's lost a bunch of weight and he's doing fantastic. I've lost in a month 5 pounds, which is super frustrating, but 5 pounds is good. I will continue the journey. He, however, has lost over 40. So I'm like, okay. Men,
good for him. They have a much
standard.
Yes,
men get to lose weight
time.
easier than women.
I know. So annoying.
I was talking with somebody yesterday, and they were like, "Oh, my husband says I'm gonna quit Cokes for a week, and they lose 5 pounds."
Yep.
No, that's the truth.
I'm like, I literally had 50 calories. Yeah, the whole week last week. I worked out 6 times, right?
And I put on a pound. Yes, it's so true. Oh my gosh. Oh, I could tell a funny story about roommate 3.
Okay.
So one time,
let's finish it out with this.
Yes. Okay. So it's not funny, but it's humorous now. So one time she was about 2.5.
Oh yeah.
And she's my child that eats weird stuff. She used to hoard raw bacon.
She's your feral one.
She would hoard raw bacon. So we would be like, where's the bacon? It would be in her room, and she had eaten half the pack raw. Of course, I know it's cured, whatever. She never got sick, so she must have an iron stomach. Anyway, she loved cheese, and she asked me for cheese, and I said, "Yeah, I'll be in there in a minute." I was in the middle of something. I think I don't remember what I was doing, but anyway, about 3 minutes later, she comes down. She comes down the hallway, and she's like, I cut myself. And I'm like, whoa, what the hell? She literally cut her entire pinky from like the first knuckle off.
God.
And she was not crying. She was not like upset. She was just like, I cut my finger. I'm pretty sure she was in shock. So I was like, oh my gosh. And she goes, I just wanted some cheese. So she literally decided she was going to. And of course, she didn't get a small knife. She got like the biggest knife in the drawer.
Oh yeah.
And, yeah, so I proceeded to grab the pinky that was cut off, and we went to the ER and they sewed it back on, and she's back to normal. I guess luckily when you're that little thing, it's not that big of a deal to like just sew back off. I asked her not too long ago if she still had feeling in that, and she actually does. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay, pinky.
Pinky saved.
Oh my God, pinky saved. But yeah, she was, and she still is that way. She'll be like, if somebody doesn't do something for her immediately, if she asks you,
That's the
she does
last.
it on her own. She's
Yeah.
like, forget you. I think I have that in me a little bit too.
Yeah.
Where if
Get her done, pitter patter.
if I need something and someone's not willing to do it, I'm gonna do it. It's like
Yeah.
the meme with the women, carrying a couch by themselves.
Yes.
They're like,
Okay,
tell me I
okay.
can't do something.
I'll do it. Never mind. Hold my beer.
Yes. Okay, well, I think that's about it.
Wrapping it up here.
Ooh, wrapping it up.
All right.
So our art update.
Oh, did I?
Y'all might have seen it for a day.
Hmm.
We are trying to figure out how to post the entire artwork on a thumbnail.
Yeah.
Very
I'll get
difficult. Yeah, we can't get it figured out. So we're trying to figure out how to do it without offending the artist, because it was offensive, because it wasn't the whole.
Gotta get
piece
the
of
whole thing
art.
up there. Absolutely.
So we're trying to figure out how to get the whole thing on there. So
Yeah.
eventually, maybe this week, maybe next week, we will have the artwork on our podcast
For full display.
for full display.
Yeah.
Because it's a pretty amazing piece of art.
It
Like,
really
he
is.
did
Yep.
an amazing job. It's fantastic. It's literally everything we wanted.
Yeah.
But it is definitely hard to get it on a thumbnail. So we are working on that. Once again, email us sistersdeclassified@gmail.com if you have any suggestions or comments or anything for our podcast. We'd love to hear from you, and we can have a segment answering your questions. So
Yeah. Send it over.
That's what we need. All right.
All
Talk
right.
to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.
In 1998, I was the whistleblower in a massive pedophilia case involving the Independent Fundamental Baptist Church, Cornerstone Baptist Church in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I was the lead key witness in a case that took down an entire network of child abusers. Charles D. Miller was sent to prison, and this was prior to the statute of limitations law being lifted in Colorado. In fact, shortly thereafter it was lifted, and he would have gotten life in prison. My sister and I wrote a book about what it was like growing up in the cult. We're looking for publishers. We are going to self-publish, but we need your help. If you know of anyone, hit us up. Contact info is in the show notes. Thank you kindly.